Hello and welcome to another episode of Gaming as a Career. Today, we have our special guest, Cynthia. She is, in my opinion, a rising star. She has started about, I think, a year ago. Is that
In
right?
June. So
In
about, yep.
June, yes. And she has made quite a lot of progress. And today she's here to share her story with you and answer some of our questions that could help you to understand gaming as a career better. Well, I'm turning it to you, Cynthia. Hello, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Kind of blew my mind that you wanted to speak with me, so I'm very grateful to be here. As mentioned, my name is Cynthia. I go by Cyn on the internet, so CYN, and my username on most platforms is Cynthetics, so just the word synthetic like an animatronic, but I changed the S to a C to fit my name because I wanted something cool and quirky and I didn't want to use my real name on the internet. Oh, I was trying to make sure my phone was off and then it did that. But yeah, so I started recording YouTube videos in June. I just wanted to record my process of playing video games. I've been playing video games since I was 3 years old. My older brothers introduced me to video games. And I really did grow up in the age of YouTube with people really making a big splash for themselves on the internet, just sharing their experience and their love of video games. So after years of doing that and just finishing college and really losing my identity as a student, I wanted to find something else that I could claim as my own. So I was like, I've been playing video games all my life. I'm pretty good at them. So let me just record a little bit of me playing the Mass Effect Legendary series for the first time, put it on the internet and see how it goes. It went amazing. The community was so sweet and supportive, and they were with me through all the trials and tribulations and the just stress of growth. And once that started going to well, we moved on to different games and we just started streaming over on Twitch. We've been doing that since the 5th of July, I believe, and I just made affiliate and hopefully they will get back to me about a partner position soon. So yeah, that's me for right now.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's very impressive. I'm very happy for you. And a part of the reason that I was very excited and I was looking forward to this sort of interview was that because you have made quite a lot of progress in a very short time, and therefore you can definitely share your perspective and insight to other aspiring people out there with different, different age group, different backgrounds who might think about becoming a gamer and find their own niche.
Yeah.
So thank you for the introduction. It was great. So what do you do currently?
So currently for work?
Yeah,
like
if you would like to share about your work and basically, yeah.
No worries whatsoever. So I was born into the telecom industry. My parents have been in the industry for a very long time, and the industry is starting to industrialize a little bit more as far as like paperwork and office work goes. And my father, love him to death, doesn't know anything about computers. So I stepped up and started helping him do all the documentation for his work, and that led me doing documentation for the company, and then that led me doing documentation for government projects. So that's kind of where I am right now. I'm technically a project coordinator. So that takes up the vast majority of my day. And then when I have spare time, I record and edit my YouTube videos. So that's kind of where I am right now.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you started YouTube as sort of your part-time hobby slash job, right?
Yes.
So that's exciting. So how often do you play games currently? What is your schedule for games?
As of right now, I probably stop work around 4 p.m. and then I try to get at least 6 hours of gameplay in. And it really depends on the game that I'm playing. If I'm playing a more linear game, 6 hours of gameplay is probably like 4 episodes, 5 episodes. But because I'm playing larger games, open world games like Red Dead Redemption 2 right now, 6 hours of gameplay is like 1 episode. So really have to try to record as much as possible. So I do try to play daily, and then that is doubled when I have a streaming day because my streaming days are also my slow days at work. So I can record for 4 to 5 hours and then stream online for 4 to 5 hours a different game. So I play all the time.
Okay, that's that's tough. You're very dedicated. That's very interesting. So, what is exciting about video games for you personally? Apart
The
from, you have a background in your
Mhm.
childhood, you were curious. So, but for some people, they get detached. And
Yep.
when they grow up, the day-to-day routines, family, children would
Mhm.
basically detach them from that environment. And I do have a little background there too, because I had to detach. But
Yep.
what brought you back?
Mhm. Oh yeah, because I did the same thing too. I detached in college in order to finish my master's degree, and then I got back into it afterwards. And really, what brought me back was it's escapism. It's a form of storytelling that you can place yourself in and experience a story that does not exist anywhere else in your real life. It really does become a form of therapy for a lot of people to be able to go out and experience these new stories and be the main character. And really, a lot of people build in their minds friendships with these characters, and they mean a lot to them. I have video game characters that mean a lot to me. So it is what draw me to it was the storytelling. And of course, when you grow up on video games, your mind is trained to look for that instant gratification of playing a video game and beating a level or beating a boss. So it does fill you with those endorphins. So that is what I've been looking for. And that is why I always go back to video games.
That's exciting. Yes, and a part of that. So I think the community of gaming and the environment, especially like if you play some of these online multiplayer games, you can make a lot of friends. I've met a lot of
Yep.
friends, and basically my first ever job has been offered to me by one of my gaming friends' mom. She was a manager at a company, and she needed an assistant, and that's
Uh-huh.
how I found my first job. And I never thought I would get it through like my gaming friend. And
Yeah.
this is a friend that I've never met before.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, of course, we have met after that, like
Yeah.
after years of playing together. But we found each other on World of Warcraft. That's how we. So that's interesting.
That's the beauty in networking. You can do it
Yeah,
anywhere.
yeah, that's very interesting. So, who inspires you?
A
Um,
couple of people. When I was first starting out, my biggest inspiration was probably the YouTuber Markiplier because I grew up watching his content, especially his horror content. That's what
mhm,
taught me that I have a deep love for horror storytelling. But as it's progressed, it definitely is the current streamer Sweet Tales. Always very positive personality, so much fun with her community. And she's really one of those content creators where if you're having a bad day and you see that she's streaming, it's a joy to go and watch her just interact with her community. And that type of charisma is something that really can't be replicated. So when I see someone that does have that charismatic pool, whether it's Markiplier or Sweet Tales or another 100 streamer content creators, like those are the people I want to look up to because it's so natural for them, or at least it
mhm.
seems that way on camera.
Okay, that's very nice. So you feel a connection with that person,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that's very important. And the people who follow you, they feel a connection with you and your story, your games, and that's very important. That's very
Yes.
valuable. All right. So, so you is that the only person that you follow, or are
Uh,
there other people out there?
So many people. BB Jess is also a streamer. She doesn't make gaming content necessarily. At least I've never seen it from her. She has a very interesting streaming style where it's kind of like a massive party all the time, where it's just
Mhm,
music and emotes everywhere and high energy. And once again, it's something where if you've just gotten off work, you want to relax, you're not in the mood, like just watching her stream fills you with so much energy because that energy is just magnetic. And it's so much fun. I made so many more friends with other time content creators who are just now building themselves up. Winsy Psyche, Brunette Juliet, Cat Scarlet, Curly Fox, they're friends of mine that I've made through streaming who I think so much of. And there's so many more, just people that you've rated them, they rated you, you play the same games, you see them on Twitch and you want to support, so you drop in, you find out they're an awesome person, you stick around a while. And as much as it's great to be a massive fan and inspired by the big name people who have already made it, it's also, you have to be inspired by people who are also on your level or are going through the same struggles you are and really understand where you are at this point in your career. And I feel like those are my people as well.
That's very interesting. So first of all, we would love to have your friends on our show too. So definitely we look forward to
I'll
you
pass along the
connecting us. Yeah,
information.
that would be
Yeah.
interesting. That's the first thing. Second, having a community of friends who support you is very important, who
Hmm.
are sharing the same experiences. That's very important. That's very healthy. So a lot of people have career mentors, right?
Hmm.
And this is something that you might not have, because gaming as a career is something that is not very well understood. Of course, it has developed a lot, and but having a community of friends who are going through the same thing could be very helpful, because they can share their
Hmm.
experiences with you, give you hints, give you tips, sharing contact information if they are working with an agent, if they have an editor,
Yeah.
that's very important. And the third important thing for me is that you are following female role
Hmm.
models,
Yep.
and that's very inspiring, because like people like you who are thinking about, okay, I want to start. It's not about all males out there,
Yeah.
all boys out there who are playing video games. The scene has changed, and I
Hmm.
really like that. I really
Yep.
like that. In the old days, I mean, of course, there were female players, but there was this stigma that game is
Hmm.
only for boys. And that is 100% incorrect. That
Yes.
assumption does not exist any longer. And I really love that. There are a lot of female role models out there, like Sniper Wolf is one of them that I personally follow, and I like her content. And I
Hmm.
really love the fact that she inspires a lot of ladies out there.
Yep.
And that's very interesting. So we have had a lot of interesting conversations. I'm getting hyped up. So so let's talk about some of the challenges
Okay.
of gaming as a career. First of all,
Hmm.
um, let's say, is this something that you have talked about with your friends at work
Yes.
or in social circles? Do they know that you do
Yep.
this? Do they know that you're a gamer? And how do they perceive you as a gamer? And has it influenced their perspective, or how they
Mm.
look at you, how they perceive you, or how they, you know,
Yeah.
organize or manage their relationships with you, their interactions?
Hmm.
So share some of your experiences.
Of course. So, as far as I can remember, my core personality trait has been that I'm a gamer. My entire life, if you needed a game suggestion of any genre, I was the person you went to. So, if anything, me being like, hey, I'm starting a gaming YouTube channel, my friends were more like, well, why didn't you do that sooner? This is literally all you do with your life. So, my relationship with my friends, I'm blessed to say, has not changed at all. If anything, they are majorly supportive. My best friend Sarah is literally in my stream every time I stream, interacting with the community. She is always there. She's the best person ever. But everyone in my life pretty much knows that I'm taking on social media and gaming is more of like a side hustle, slowly becoming more of a part-time. It's pretty much a full-time job when you look at the hours of it. But everyone knows that this is what I do in my spare time, and they're very supportive of it. They ask me how it's going, they make suggestions. There's never been a moment where they looked at me differently or changed the way that they acted around me, which is great, because like I said before, I've always been this person. Now I'm just this person to a much wider audience. So there's been no reason for our situations to change at all. And I haven't made any new friends recently, especially working remote and being on lockdown, where I've had to explain to these new people in my life, this is what I do. So I don't really have their other reactions, that outside reaction to judge yet, but I'm sure it will come.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. So, how did your parents feel about you starting your own YouTube channel or your Twitch
Hmm.
channel? How did they feel about that? So, that question comes from a generation of people who had their parents not wanting them to waste their life
Mm-hmm.
and time playing video games. But I feel a lot of things have changed. So let's
Mm-hmm.
see.
Once again, very blessed. My older siblings are gamers, and what I tell my community, I was bribed with video games as a child because I was. Whenever I would do something good, well in school, it was a holiday, the gifts that my parents always gravitated to were video games because they knew that was the thing that was going to make me happy. And when I first started going to college, I went through, like people do in college, so many different career paths. And I was like, I'm going to go into political science and English and become a contract lawyer and work in the video game industry. I'm going to get my marketing and management degree and go work in the video game industry. And I have my marketing and management degree. And I kind of do work in the video game industry right now, but I stayed helping out my family with the telecom business and helping out my father's associates. So when I took up YouTube as a hobby, my parents were also like, you've been kind of talking about this for years. We're very supportive of you. We were kind of wondering why you didn't do it sooner because this is a thing you've been talking about for years. So they've been very, very supportive about it. They always ask me, how are things going? They ask me about the community. They try not to ask me about my analytics because I'm very superstitious. So I try not to like overshare because I believe in the negativity in the universe. So I'm very careful about that. So I was like, I'm just going
I
to wait
can
until
tell
things
from your
work out.
necklace.
The evil.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. You know.
Yeah.
So I
My
like to
wife
let
has the
things.
same necklace, by the way.
Okay. She understands.
Yeah.
She's my
Yeah.
people. She
Yeah.
understands.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to do things silently, let things work out positively, and then you can tell people about them when they're done and settled and you're happy with the result. That has always been my mindset. My parents are very understanding. And I have something that a lot of people that want to get started in the video game industry don't really have is
Hmm.
the monetary support of my parents, because when holidays come around after like my birthday, Christmas have passed since I became a content creator. It's, do you need this camera? Do you need this monitor? Would you like this new keyboard? So my parents are very constant in my life and they're able to help me out in ways that a lot of people don't have. So I attribute a lot of my growth to the fact that I've had good quality in my content because they've been there for me, being like, you could turn this into a full-time thing if you really wanted to. So let us help you along the way if this is what's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
So I love my parents so much and they have been so supportive of me, just like my friends. And I really don't think I would have reached this level of growth without those two complete different parties supporting me in the ways that they have.
Yeah, that's very awesome. That's very awesome. Actually, that is very true. For the starters, it's going
Mm-hmm.
to take a lot of time and energy and consistency to put out the content, to find the right people for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that you have had that support. But for those who might not have that
Yeah.
support, what are your suggestions? Like, if someone, let's say
Yeah.
if someone is 16, 17
Mm-hmm.
or 18 years old and they want to convince their parents that
Mm-hmm.
hey, I want to do this, I need your support,
Yeah.
how they could do that. I still remember one of my close friends
Mm-hmm.
whose son was 15,
Yeah.
and one day he was an Xbox guy, like he was playing a lot. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember one time he came to her and said, "Mom, I want to become a streamer and gamer.
Mm-hmm.
That's my passion. I want to become that person."
Yeah.
And the conversation did not go well. But I was like, what that person could have told his mom to
Mm-hmm.
sort of get over this hurdle
Yeah.
or barrier. So these are very important.
Yes.
So what would be your suggestion?
So actually what I ended up doing, because my parents have a lot of blind faith in me, which is great, but I also wanted them to see the actual physical result of that blind faith through other people. So go and find content creators who you really enjoy, who've had a lot of success, and show your family and friends the analytics behind these people. Here's the content they make. I can do something similar, if not better, on a similar level. And here's the success that they've been having over this period of time. And you have to be honest about it, because when I show people these streamers that I really look up to, I'm like, it took this person 2 to 3 years before they were able to go full time. Like these are their analytics, not immediately, but over the span of 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years. So if I do this consistently as part-time and really work on it, and you don't have to start out with the best equipment ever. I was working with an old laptop that I used for class that absolutely wrecked all of my Mass Effect videos, a snowball microphone I got on sale, and like one of those 4K, I don't even think it was really 4K. It might have been, but I didn't know how to work it, so it sucked. The USB cameras that you buy at Best Buy, the little like USB mic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have the best stuff to just start out and start building a community, and the connections are going to be the most important thing you can
Yeah.
have. So really just find someone who you can use as a concrete example. Multiple people are great. I sat my dad, I didn't even sit him down. He like was watching Twitch over my shoulder, and he was like, this is really entertaining. Like I can understand how people make a career out of this. And I was like,
Yeah.
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 So just find those examples. YouTube, best resource ever. There are hundreds of thousands of videos on how to set things up in great quality, but also cost efficiently. So definitely don't be hard-headed like I am and try to do everything on your own. Please listen to the advice of other people. It'll make your life so much easier. So that is just how you gain that support, is finding people who you can relate with and be like, I can be that person. Here's their analytics and why I can match that. And also showing the people in your life that you can do that cost efficiently. Like you're not wasting your time and money doing this thing. It's not a money pit.
That's a great advice. That's a great advice. First of all, so when you, if you are a beginner and you want to talk to your parents, or maybe if even your wife that you want to, or your partner, your husband, that you want to start this, I mean, sitting down and talking to them about the, you know, basically the overlook or the outside, the outlook of the career, how it would look like in a few years, what and what the journey is like, and basically this can help you a lot to you know, receive their support, and basically, of course, people would understand. And also your advice that don't start with, you know, super high-end equipment, that is that's a very great advice. I really love that. For the audience, Facebook Market is a great place to find a microphone, to find webcams, to find even used computer PCs. So I just purchased a medium and not high end, a medium end computer PC for $300, which I had to spend $1,000 for, you know, buying this brand new. And that would do what I needed. And that was like editing some videos for YouTube. That's why I purchased that. So you can start with, you know, low cost stuff and then slowly build up. That's very great advice. So yeah, we talked about that. And let's talk about how do you differentiate yourself as a gamer with other people that you follow? Like, how did you find your own niche? Was that something that you had in mind from, you know, right off the bat, or was that something that you received from your community, your supporters? How did you get there?
So I knew that I wanted to play games that were very heavy in storytelling. I'm not a massive like battle royale FPS person. That's just not my play style. And whenever I go into a story, I love psychology. I love a lot of different sciences, and my knowledge of psychology and oddly quantum physics and mythology and history, and just like my commentary across those wide spectrums, was really what helped me start to build an audience. And in the beginning with my Mass Effect playthroughs, it really was just the time that I took to make my commentary on the characters and their motivations and the relationships. And then another massive influx of followers came from my God of War series, because I'm a massive mythology nerd. So I would be pulling from the back of my brain like all these random Norse mythology facts to tell the audience. And of course, some of them already knew them because the game does explain certain things, but they take a lot of creative liberty. So me knowing the original myth, I would be like, okay, well, hold on. Here's the original story behind what they've retold here. And that really helped me as well. So I think for me personally, it was kind of just the nerd knowledge that I already had being further pushed into my commentary for video games, and also
Mm-hmm.
just the deep love that I have for storytelling, because
Mm-hmm.
when you look at stories across a wide spectrum, there's an exact formula for how to tell a story. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like the hero's journey, it's classic. It comes from Greek storytelling. You have a person, you have their call to action, the rise, the climax of the story, and the conclusion. Literally a story as old as time.
Mm-hmm.
But that pattern is not necessarily a bad thing because it makes great stories. So if you can do something as simple as react to that particular style of storytelling as the story is moving forward and keep your audience up to date with everything that's going on with your own like personal hint and personality touches where you go, like that is what has made me one of more, I guess, personality gamer. Maybe that's the term for it, a content creator gamer. So really that's kind of how I found my niche, was just playing things that I knew I loved and
Mm-hmm.
adding my own spin to them based on knowledge that I already had.
Interesting. That's very interesting. So the other set of questions that I have for you are related to the physical challenges, health, and wellness. So for gamers, these are important too. Uh, so tell me about your physical wellness. How do you take care of yourself? Especially that sometimes you spend 6 hours sitting and playing video games.
Yeah.
So
I'm just gonna see myself out now, but I'm working on this. I've never been the healthiest person, even before content creation. So content creation is not the start of this issue.
uh-huh.
But I am trying to stretch more. I am trying to work out more because, like you said, I am basically confined to this chair for the vast majority of my day, which I need to get a new one because this chair is uncomfortable. But really, just in order to take care of yourself, you do have to please drink plenty of water. Don't rely on energy drinks. Don't rely on caffeine, because that is just a pseudo form of energy. It's not what your body's asking for. Yes, drink the water. Drink
Yeah,
your water. Just make sure to eat regular meals. Don't rely on fast food if you can. Get up and try to stretch every now and then, even when you really don't want to. Pause the game, stand up, touch your toes, like stretch out your back. Just do little things for yourself, because sitting in this chair 24/7, no matter how good of a chair you have, I don't care if it's one of those fancy ergonomic chairs that you bought, it's not good for you. Like
yeah,
stand up, go walk outside, go breathe in some fresh air. You will feel better, because being confined to these chairs all day, especially staring at a screen, you get blue light headaches. The migraines are insane. Just like you
yeah,
have to take care of yourself. If you really care about making content and building something, you have to take care of yourself in the long run, because you are the machine that's making this content. So if you're
yeah,
not feeling well, your content is going to be the thing that suffers. And I'm saying that as like a motivation, because I know that I'm very motivated by the outcome. So I know a lot of the times, like I'll let myself suffer because I'm hoping the outcome is good. But I've had to learn that the content, the thing that I'm like reaching towards, that I want to always be great, if I'm not feeling good, the content's going to suffer. And I can see that when I'm watching playbacks and I have like bags under my eyes are red because I haven't slept in like 24 hours, like the caffeine's getting to me, I'm getting jittery, I can't form words. Like you have to take care of yourself in order
mhm,
to perform well. So I'm getting better at that. And honestly, if you are a content creator, if you're going to be a content creator in gaming, you got to start doing that. Drink your water, eat well, please start taking vitamins, because I know for a fact those people out there are not getting the vitamins you need from whatever you're eating. I know I'm not. You just have to take care of yourself in order to perform well and really reach your goals.
yeah. That's a great advice, especially in a long run. Sitting even on these ergonomic chairs could hurt your back, your
Mm-hmm.
neck. There are several problems that could arise for your eyes, for your, even for your brain. Like
Yep.
it's going to be bad. You just have to be, aware of your wellness.
Mm.
What about sleep? Are you getting enough sleep? That's a tough question, right?
I have been an insomniac all my life, so I'm not the best person to ask on sleep. I go through cycles with my sleep and I'm trying not to be so hard on myself, but this is a privilege that I have because I work remotely, that
Hmm.
I can really knock out 9 to 10 hours of work and then hop on some gameplay and then sleep for long hours. So my sleep schedule is not good at all. I am getting sleep, but it's not healthy because you do need a very exact sleep schedule for your body to function properly.
Yeah.
So I am not the best person to ask about sleep. And this was long before content creation. It's been this way since I was a child. But sleep is absolutely important. Getting in a good cycle with your sleep, making sure you sleep the hours that you need personally, because not everyone needs 9 to 10, not 9 to 10, 8 to 9 hours. Some people can survive off 4 hours of sleep. I'm kind of one of those people. So you really just have to do what's best for you. I currently do not, but once again, we are working on it.
Okay, that's good to know. So, how do you set boundaries between, the time that you spend for playing video games for the purpose of content creation, and maybe the
Mhm.
times that you're like, okay, I'm not gonna record this. I'm just gonna play this for
Mhm.
fun. How do you differentiate between those? Are there set boundaries that you have, or there's really none?
It depends on what type of content I'm going for at the time. So the best instance I can use is currently playing Red Dead Redemption 2. There's so much downtime in Red Dead Redemption 2 trying to like level up your character, take care of your character, go throughout the map and discover new places. So much of that is going to be boring, me just hanging out on my own, but enjoying myself at the same time. That's my downtime from having to focus on what's my commentary going to be like? What are these characters' motivations? Where's the story going from here? So, in those downtimes where I can just take the character hunting or go fishing, like that's my me time. I don't need to record that. And then there are games like I'm a big Genshin Impact player. I
Mhm.
don't have to record Genshin Impact because that's just not the content that I currently release. So I can hop onto Genshin Impact, play for myself for a while, and I just enjoy my time there. I think as far as how I set those boundaries, it's what I think would make good content versus just what I enjoy for myself. If I thought I could make good content off of Genshin Impact, I probably would record those gameplays. But it's just not the content that I want to release because my content style is very story heavy. So
Mhm.
that is mostly what I focus on. Whereas if it's something that's more driven by downtime and relaxation. Like I don't currently play Animal Crossing, but if I personally did, I wouldn't record it. That would be my relaxing game. That would be my me time because it wouldn't be a story heavy game that I would feel the need to record. So
Mhm.
everyone is going to have a different spectrum on this is the content that I want versus this is what I'm playing for myself. I'm sure people that specialize in FPS games, they don't really care to sit down and record a story heavy game because that's not what their audience is looking for and that's not what they're personally interested in, but they'll
Mhm.
record hours upon hours of COD gameplay, which is different for me. So everyone is different.
Yeah, that's very true. So if you want to look at yourself and recall the days in which you had maybe a few subscribers, maybe less
Mhm.
than 10, if you would like to give yourself an advice, what that advice would be.
Um, I feel like the stereotypic answer is keep going. It's all going to be okay. And that is completely true. But I would tell my hard headed self to please go on the internet and look up how to get your gameplay to be 4K and not just let it be like compressed all the time because I was
Uh-huh.
determined I was going to do it for myself.
Yeah.
But I could have made my life so much easier if I had just taken the advice of others who are offering this information to you for free. It is on YouTube.
Mhm.
Take it, utilize it to make your content better, and don't stress yourself out by being like, why is my video compressing? Why is this bottlenecking when it shouldn't? Like, take the time and listen to people who literally make giving advice their career. It's going to make your life so much easier. And also, yeah, keep going. Keep going. It's going to be okay. There are a lot more people out there who support you than want you to fail. And I feel like that's one of the most important ones because when you start to gain a following, it seems like the people that have an issue with your content are the loudest. but they are the minority.
Yeah.
Most people want you to succeed. It's only a very few, I hate to say it, very few sad individuals who feel the need to express what they don't like about a very minute detail.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. That's very true. Um, Even me as someone who teaches classes,
Mhm.
I've
Yeah, I'm sure
learned
you
that
get it.
I cannot. So I have like 100 students per semester. I know even if I push myself very hard, which I do most of the
Mhm.
time, I can never satisfy all the 100 students in the class.
Yep.
There are going to be that 1% who are still unhappy no
Mm-hmm.
matter what you do.
Yep. Have
And
you on
but
Rate My Professor?
yes, you would definitely find me there, but but you have to take into consideration that I've had over 500 students over
Mhm.
these past few years that have started teaching. But like there are maybe a couple of people who would go and give you a bad rate,
Yeah,
and there's really nothing I can do about that. It's just
very
it's
true.
just that, and the same thing applies to the content creators and influencers. There's only that all the time there's that 1% that you have to sort of I mean, just be aware, listen to their comments.
Mm-hmm.
If there is something that you can do to improve, definitely do that. But if you feel that there's nothing you can do to improve, or these
Yeah,
comments are really they don't make sense, then really you can't do anything.
very true.
Yeah.
A lot of those people do have valid criticisms, and like those are great to listen to. But yeah, as long as you know that you're happy with what content you're putting out and you're making the majority happy, like that should be enough. You don't have to stress yourself out over that 1% that just wants to gripe about something.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So, so you talked about some of these tools, like the people who are trying to get started. What are some of the tools that you use, especially on
Yeah.
YouTube? Like you said, you have been following some of the peoples that are giving you free advices.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you mind sharing these resources with our audience so they would also learn?
Yeah,
Uh,
of course. Right now, my absolute favorite video editing software is completely free is DaVinci Resolve. I think it's one of the best things ever. It has literally all the tools you could ever need for editing a video yourself, just starting out, just needing the basics of how to clip a video, how to switch out your sound, how to just make everything run smoothly. Like DaVinci Resolve is going to be your best friend. I cannot talk about this program enough. Completely free. Please use it. Also, OBS Studios. A lot of people go to OBS Streamlabs, and I think it's great for streaming because you can integrate all of your alerts and everything that you need to really make streaming run smoothly. But
mhm,
OBS Studios, it's free and it works amazing for recording YouTube videos. And also, when you start to record YouTube videos, don't do what I do. Take the time to figure out how to separate your video game audio from your vocal audio. That way,
uh-huh,
when you put it into DaVinci Resolve, you can move those dials individually and always have your sound consistent throughout the video. It is going to make the biggest difference to you and your audience when you know that your vocal sound is not overpowering the sound of the game or vice versa. That is
mhm,
going to be a great help for you. And just make sure that you use all forms of social media that you are comfortable using, because I've seen so many people blow up their gameplay on TikTok and gain so many followers over on their Twitch and YouTubes from just utilizing other social media platforms. There's a great integration platform called Streamladder. You can hook it up to your Twitch account and it will make your all of your gameplays into TikTok clips. That way you don't have to edit them yourself. And it's very quick to do. You just take your video, you like scope out your camera, Streamladder, and you post it straight to TikTok and it puts it in the perfect format for what you need. So just do that, link it back to your YouTube channel, your Twitch channel. I'm sure there's more, but really I lean heavily on OBS Studio, Streamlabs when I stream, and then DaVinci Resolve has sincerely saved my life when it comes to editing.
thank you so much for sharing all of these. It's very interesting. So I personally use uh, it's called Logi Capture.
Uh-huh.
It's a software offered by large tech company.
Hmm.
It's free. I use it all the time for recording the screen, and what I like about it is it does the same thing that you mentioned. Like
Mm.
the audio that are coming through the microphone is separated from the
Yep.
audio that comes from the system. And
Hmm.
in the editing, yes, that's very important. And also, I should check this Streamladder
Yes.
thing, and maybe this is something that maybe we can do an episode on later with different guests. We can talk
Mm.
about different resources. And a great advice: using free software
Yep.
is really great. It's really helpful to get started, of course, because you don't have a lot of money to spend. Of course, you want to
Yes.
minimize all of those costs, and also working on quality, the quality
Mm.
of the content.
Yep.
That's great. All right, so if you don't mind, we
Mm.
would like to talk about some of the financial
Yeah,
aspects of this career. I know
of
some
course.
people are like, we don't want to give out specific numbers, which I totally understand.
Hmm.
Uh, but at the same time, for the people who are, first of all, who are thinking about gaming as a career, and they are trying to understand the whole idea, they want to
Yes.
look at this career from outside as an outsider, and they want to
Mm.
decide, it would be helpful to
Yeah.
understand some of the numbers and figures, not exactly, but to have
Hmm.
an outlook, have a perspective.
Yes.
So uh, I would just totally let you basically discuss all the
Yeah.
aspects that you would like to discuss. If there was a specific question that I wanted to ask, I would ask.
Okay.
So tell us about the financial viability of a gaming as a career for Cynthia.
Yes. So right now, being completely transparent, it's not at a point where I could go full time. So it's definitely something that is a side hustle, and depending on how much money you want to put in it to start, what quality you're looking for right off the beat, you're going to put a lot of money into it right in the beginning, especially if you are on the path where you know that you want to make the crisp 4K gaming content. And that's mostly, well, it can be for a lot of things. I was about to say that feels like it's mostly for the storytelling big AAA titles, but it's also for like your FPS AAA, like competitive titles. It really depends on how much money you want to spend right there at the beginning. You're going to put a lot in for a very minimum return right there in the beginning. When you
Yeah.
start putting in for YouTube content does not make you that much money. You make money off of the AdSense starting off in the beginning, and the AdSense I think is 6 cents for every 1,000 views or something. That I don't think that's exact. Would you mind if I look that up actually really quick?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely. So what Cynthia said is 100% true and important to keep in mind. And to my knowledge, YouTube pays the lowest
Mhm.
rates to the gamers. I don't know why. I believe they deserve more, but YouTube pays the highest rate on advertisement to videos that are related to investment, financial management, basically to finances and accounting.
Mhm.
Those kind of YouTubers who are talking about investment, real estate, and things like
Mhm.
that are getting the highest rates.
Yes.
But gamers are the lowest. They are on the opposite side of the spectrum, which I
Mhm.
feel they deserve more. But yes, so maybe you can share some of your insights now.
Yeah, it's very odd, especially because gaming is a multi-billion-dollar business that's constantly
Yeah.
growing, especially with the push into the metaverse and VR and AR gaming. But it was actually $18 per 1,000 view, not 18 cents. My apologies.
Mhm.
But even in comparison to other people on YouTube, that's still kind of a small number. So if you, and I'm speaking as someone who has been blessed with a very decent amount of growth in a very short amount of time, my content, a couple of videos were able to blow up. And I think that I average probably around $400 a month right now, just off of YouTube AdSense. But
Huh?
that is with my content. I put out content every day around, and the content, each video is anywhere between 2 to 3 hours long. So that's just kind of understanding what my content is. I put out daily videos, 2 to 3 hours long. So I do make around $400 a month right now. And that might take a jump given how my Red Dead Redemption 2 series has been doing recently. But another thing that you have to keep in mind is that you are very lucky to have consistent viewership as a content creator, because with content creation, you might have viewers that only want to watch you for a very specific topic, a very specific series. And the moment that series is over, they never click on your videos again. So there's a constant fluctuation there that a lot of people, I don't think they see, but they do need to be concerned about. So it does take a lot to be able to go full time and really build that consistent viewership of people who are there for you and your personality, and not necessarily the content that you are reacting or giving commentary on. And then on the other side of that, on Twitch is a whole different beast on its own, because that brings in, I know you can have memberships on YouTube, which is YouTube's version of Twitch subscribers, but a lot of people are still more comfortable with subscribing over on Twitch. And that is, I believe you get to keep $2 if it's a Prime, and then is it $2 if it's a Prime? And then anyway, what I'm getting
I
at
believe
is
40%.
40%.
Yeah.
Yes. So whatever, how many subscribers you have, times that by they give you the analytics for, I think it's times that by 3 and then divide by 2, because Twitch keeps half of it.
Yeah.
But it's still, Twitch is great for that, because when you are someone with a very, not saying I have a charismatic personality, but when you are someone who can maintain a constant viewership, you have people that want to subscribe to you months in advance and pay you those fees to just keep up and support your content. So Twitch is honestly a better platform for making money in long-time content creation. But once again, fluctuation, because when you're out making content, you have people that might not care about that specific content. They might lose interest in you for whatever rhyme or reason, and those numbers will go down or go up based on situations that are honestly out of your hands. So I would say, in full honesty, I probably have made about $1,000 a month this month, starting from January, because of Twitch and YouTube, but that was a spike in my YouTube content as well. So very blessed to be so young in my content creation career, and have those numbers, because a lot of people do not have those numbers and have been doing it much longer than I have.
That's very interesting. Yes, that's very
Yeah.
interesting. You have had a lot of successes.
Yes.
I mean, people are like, okay, $1,000 is not a lot to live on. Of course, it is not. But later on, you are getting closer to where you can start having sponsors.
Yes.
And do affiliate marketing, and basically maybe later you would set up your Patreon account and have the people who are like dedicated fans to support you.
Yes.
You're actually on the right track, and you're in that transition. I really like that you're sharing your insights. So thank you. First of all, thank you for being transparent and sharing these numbers with us. A lot of people are like, oh no, we're not going to share that. So, but it's good. It's good, because I feel that it would give people insights about,
I'm too small to be concerned about that one.
So the next question, what is next for Cynthia?
Content creation, more and more of it, new games. Like I said, do you
have any special plans for growing your channel? Do you have any special plans for your Twitch, for your a special series that you have planned, or a special spin-off that you want to do? What is next? What is the next stage for Cynthia?
Definitely putting more time into games that help me build my community in the first place. A lot of my community came from Mass Effect, which is getting a new game or it's in development. They came from God of War. God of War Ragnarok is coming out. So many people have come to my channel for my reaction to series that came out years ago when I was in college and didn't have time to pay attention to these games. Now these games are getting sequels and they want to follow me for the sequels, which is awesome. And then, of course, I love horror, but I'm also scared to play a lot of those games. So I am kind of considering doing a thing where I'm terrified of the game Alien Isolation because of how intelligent the AI is.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to start we'll have a sub count and then I'll play Alien Isolation for like my trauma.
Uh-huh.
But just putting in more time, finding games that they're really interested in. So many games are coming out in 2022 because they've been delayed for so long.
Yeah.
So just being able to really dive into that content. I want to come out with merch probably around the end of this year. I'm starting to considering designs right now. So just being able to do that for the community as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So people can start buying, uh, Cynthia's t-shirts or Cynthia's coffee mugs. And so that's very interesting. That's great. That's great. I'm very glad to have someone who is so dedicated, so someone who is actually have a goal and plan, who's motivated to grow and produce for their community. I really enjoyed having this conversation with you. So one final question.
Yep.
Looking back,
Mhm.
would you select gaming as a career?
Absolutely. I being a gamer my entire life, and I've always wanted to go into gaming in some regard. I
Uh-huh.
don't think I could have done anything better for myself that would have made me as happy as just being able to sit down and enjoy a story with people who want to enjoy the story and they also for some reason enjoy hanging out with me. Like there's nothing better than doing what you love with people who share that interest. So absolutely.
All right, that's great. That's great. That basically tells us that you are 100% on the right track and you are 100% doing what you really love, about gaming.
Mhm.
So, all right. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank
Of
you so
course.
much.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, I really enjoyed having this conversation. Maybe if the show succeeded and we started attracting more audience, we would reinvite you again in a
Please
year or two,
do.
so our audience can reconnect and see how you're doing after maybe a year or two,
Of
right?
course.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.